Beloved, let me remind you of a truth that many overlook. The greatest blessings do not announce their arrival. They come quietly, slipping through the shadows of your doubts, only to reveal themselves when you least expect them. A surprise blessing is on its way to you, not because you have begged for it, not because you have fought for it, but because deep within you, you have already claimed it. Every thought you repeated, every secret prayer you whispered, every quiet hope you carried in silence, these are the seeds of your blessing. Do not mistake silence for absence. Just because you hear nothing, see nothing, feel nothing, does not mean that nothing is happening. The unseen is always moving. The invisible is always arranging itself to take form. What you cannot yet touch is already real, already yours, already set in motion. The blessing you are waiting for may not look like what you imagined. Often it wears the disguise of delay, of rejection, of closed doors. But do not curse these moments. They are the very proof that something better, something richer, something divinely timed is making its way into your life. Hold steady in your faith. Do not force. Do not chase. Do not beg. Expect with calm assurance. Expect as if the answer has already been delivered and you are only waiting for the package to be placed in your hands. Soon, without warning, you will stand in the middle of the blessing you once only imagined. It will feel sudden, but in truth, it was always there, moving toward you the whole time. A surprise blessing is on its way. Rest in that certainty, for what is written in the unseen must one day break through into the seen. Life always delivers what you secretly dwell upon, whether in faith or in fear. Every thought that lingers within you is not idle. It is a seed planted in the soil of your being. And like all seeds, it grows, matures, and eventually produces fruit. This is the law of your inner world, and no one escapes it. What you dwell upon, what you continually rehearse in the quiet chambers of your mind, will eventually harden into fact and show itself in the stage of your life. If your mind is filled with fear, if you are constantly anticipating loss, rejection, or failure, then that very expectation builds itself into your reality. Fear is nothing more than misplaced faith. It is the same energy but directed toward the opposite of what you desire. To dwell upon fear is to water the weeds of your own garden. And as surely as a gardener who ignores his field will see weeds overtake the flowers, the one who ignores his inner conversations will see fear bear its bitter fruit. Yet the same law works in your favor when you dwell in faith, when you carry within yourself an inner picture of success, peace, love, or abundance, and when you hold it with conviction. Life has no choice but to shape itself in harmony with that picture. The outer world bends to the inner world. Faith is not wishful thinking. It is quiet knowing. It is the certainty that what you dwell upon has already been accomplished in the unseen and is only waiting for its appointed hour to break through. Consider how often the mind drifts into idle chatter, rehearsing imagined arguments, replaying old wounds, or predicting a dark future. These inner rehearsals are not harmless. They are scripts, and life is the stage that will play them out. But the moment you decide to redirect your dwelling place, the moment you choose to live inwardly, in the end you desire, rather than in the fear of its absence, the entire course of your life begins to shift. You are not at the mercy of chance. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are the creator of your circumstances, whether consciously or unconsciously. And the evidence of your creation is always tied to what you allow yourself to dwell upon. If you live in constant worry, do not be surprised when life gives you more to worry about. If you live in quiet confidence and gratitude, Do not be surprised when blessings come to you without effort. This is why the ancients always spoke of guarding the mind. For the mind is the gate through which everything must pass before it can appear in your world. Guard your dwelling place. Refuse to live in the shadow of fear. Refuse to rehearse the worst. Instead, choose deliberately where you set your inner gaze. Choose to dwell upon what is noble, what is good, what is lovely, and what is already yours in spirit. Life does not play favorites. It only echoes back what you whisper to it in the silence of your imagination. Therefore, dwell in faith, for life must deliver it to you as surely as the seed must bring forth after its kind. The blessing often comes unannounced, wrapped in what looks like delay or even disappointment. Life rarely hands us gifts in the neat, polished way we imagine. More often, the very thing we prayed for arrives hidden in the disguise of a challenge, a closed door, or a season of waiting. At first glance, it seems like rejection. It feels like nothing is working, like every effort is wasted. But what appears to be delay is often divine reordering. What feels like disappointment is often the hand of life removing what cannot serve you, so that what is truly meant for you may enter. We are quick to label moments as failures simply because they do not match our timetable or expectations. When a plan falls apart, when an opportunity slips through our hands, when someone walks away, our first response is to mourn and complain. Yet, if you look back at your life, you will notice that the very losses you once thought unbearable were the stepping stones that carried you to something far greater. The job you did not get forced you to discover a path that aligned with your true purpose. The relationship that ended made space for one that honored your heart. The season of delay cultivated patience, wisdom, and strength you could never have gained otherwise. Every apparent delay is pregnant with meaning. Life is never idle. Behind the curtain of your current circumstances, pieces are being moved, doors are being prepared, and paths are being cleared. But because you cannot see this hidden work, you assume nothing is happening. You confuse silence with absence, stillness with neglect. Yet the truth is, the blessing is on its way, moving closer each day, only waiting for the right time and place to reveal itself. Disappointment, too, is not your enemy. It is a mirror, showing you what is not meant for you and guiding you back toward what is. Imagine if every desire you had was granted instantly, regardless of whether it truly served your higher good. How chaotic and empty life would become. Sometimes, the unanswered prayer is the greatest blessing, for it prevents you from walking into a trap disguised as success. It redirects your steps so that when the true blessing comes, you are ready to receive it fully. What looks like delay or disappointment is not punishment, it is protection, it is preparation. You are being refined in the waiting, molded in the silence, stretched in the struggle, all so that when the blessing appears, it will not slip through your fingers. The longer the delay, the deeper the roots of the gift. The greater the disappointment, the grander the arrival that will replace it. Trust that what seems like a closed door is often the entrance to something far more extraordinary. Do not be deceived by appearances. The blessing is coming, but it will often come unannounced, without trumpet or warning. One moment you may be weary, doubting that anything will change, and the next the very thing you longed for is standing in front of you. And when it does, you will see clearly that the delay was never denial. It was simply the path by which the blessing chose to arrive. Your inner conversations create the stage upon which blessings suddenly appear. What you repeatedly whisper to yourself in the privacy of your mind is not meaningless chatter. These are the blueprints, the invisible scripts from which your life builds its stage. Every outcome, every encounter, every open or closed door is a reflection of those silent dialogues. Life listens not to the words you speak loudly to the world, but to the ones you quietly rehearse when no one is watching. Think for a moment of the countless inner dialogues you carry daily. When faced with a challenge, do you tell yourself, I can't, I'm not ready, it's too much for me? Or do you say, this will work out for me. I have all I need within me. I am more than enough. The difference may seem subtle, but the impact is monumental. For your inner words are seeds planted in the soil of your imagination. And imagination is the womb of reality. Whatever you continue to nurture there must eventually find its way into form. The blessings you long for do not fall from the sky without cause. They appear because inwardly you created a space for them. A person who continuously rehearses thoughts of lack cannot recognize abundance even when it stands at the door. Their stage is cluttered with fear and unworthiness, and so abundance has no room to perform. But the one who builds within themselves the inner dialogue of gratitude, expectation, and certainty makes way for blessings to enter freely. Your conversations with yourself are never neutral. Each one leans toward life or toward limitation. If you silently accuse yourself, replay your mistakes, or dwell on rejection, you are shaping a stage upon which struggle must act. But if you gently redirect your inner speech, if you clothe yourself in the words of hope, confidence, and quiet trust, then you prepare a stage where blessings can appear as naturally as sunlight breaking through clouds. Consider how many times blessings have come to you suddenly, not because of effort, but because you shifted inwardly first. Perhaps you began to see yourself as worthy of love, and soon after, love arrived. Perhaps you started to believe in opportunities rather than obstacles, and suddenly doors opened that had long seemed locked. The outer event always follows the inner rehearsal. Life is simply echoing what you have been saying all along. It is not enough to speak affirmations once with your lips. They must become the dominant dialogue of your heart. You must return to them, dwell in them, feel them as though they are already true. In doing so, you are not begging for blessings. You are rehearsing their arrival until they can no longer be denied. So pay attention to the words you feed yourself. Guard your imagination as carefully as a gardener guards his soil. For the harvest you seek is already waiting, but it cannot appear on a stage that has not been prepared. Build the stage inwardly, and the blessings will appear outwardly, suddenly, beautifully, and often, beyond what you imagine. Expectation without struggle is the true magnet of miracles. When you expect something with quiet certainty, without strain or desperation, you open the door for life to deliver it in the most effortless way. Expectation is not a restless hoping, nor is it the anxious demand of someone afraid they will be denied. True expectation is calm, steady, and unshaken, as if the outcome is already decided. It is the gentle conviction that what belongs to you cannot miss you, and what does not belong to you cannot stay. So often, people confuse struggle with progress. They believe that only by pushing, forcing, or exhausting themselves will they reach their desire. But struggle does not bring miracles. It repels them. Struggle comes from fear, from the belief that unless you hold everything together with your own strength, it will fall apart. Yet miracles move on a higher law, one that answers to faith rather than fear. When you let go of the need to control every detail, when you rest in the inner assurance that life is already aligning in your favor, you release the resistance that was blocking the very thing you asked for. Expectation is powerful because it shapes your entire state of being. When you expect good, you walk differently, speak differently, and carry yourself with a quiet readiness. Without realizing it, you attract circumstances and people that mirror this expectation. Your faithful anticipation calls forth the unseen and clothes it in visible form. It is not struggle that draws miracles to you. It is the vibration of knowing they are already on their way. Think of a gardener who plants a seed. After covering it with soil, he does not dig it up every day in panic, wondering if it will grow. He expects the seed to sprout in its own time. That expectation is calm, unwavering, and free of struggle. In the same way, your desires are seeds planted in the soil of your imagination. The moment you plant them with belief, they are alive, already moving toward fulfillment. But if you continually worry, doubt, or force, you are like the gardener tearing at the soil. You delay the very growth you long to see. Miracles are not the result of frantic effort. They are the natural response to unwavering expectation. When you hold yourself in this state, you are no longer begging life for answers. You are preparing yourself to receive them. The shift is subtle yet profound. Instead of chasing, you are allowing. Instead of fighting, you are flowing. Instead of struggling, you are trusting. Expectation without struggle does not mean passivity. It means alignment. It means moving through your day with the assurance that what is meant for you is already unfolding. It means speaking as if the blessing has already been given, acting as though the miracle is already here, and resting in the peace that you cannot be denied. When you learn this secret, you will discover that miracles are not rare events. They are natural, inevitable expressions of your faithful expectation. And the moment you release the struggle, you become magnetic to them. They find you, often suddenly, and when they arrive, you realize they were never far. They were simply waiting for you to expect them with ease. Every seeming obstacle is only a door disguising a greater gift. Life has a way of presenting us with challenges that at first glance appear to be barriers. We see them as walls, as delays, as reasons why our desires cannot come to pass. Yet if you look closer, if you step back and allow a shift in perception, you will realize that every obstacle is not meant to block you, but to redirect you. What looks like resistance is often a hidden passageway, guiding you towards something richer, deeper, and more aligned with your true path. How often have you faced an obstacle that seemed insurmountable, only to later discover that it was the very thing that moved you into a better position? The job you didn't get forced you to discover a calling you never considered. The rejection you endured created space for a relationship that honored your soul. The financial hardship that once made you fearful taught you wisdom and discipline, which later became the foundation of lasting abundance. What you once cursed as an obstacle revealed itself to be a gift in disguise. The mind is quick to judge. It labels an obstacle as failure, as proof that you are not worthy or that life is against you. But life is never against you. It is always working with you, shaping you and preparing you for what you truly desire. The obstacle is not a denial, it is a refinement. It strips away what is false, strengthens what is weak, and deepens your capacity to hold the blessing when it finally arrives. When you face an obstacle, you are standing before a door. It may not look like a door because it does not open easily. It may require patience, courage, or faith to push through. But once you do, you will find that on the other side lies a greater gift than the one you were originally chasing. Obstacles are the universe's way of saying, not this way, but a better way. Not this gift, but a greater gift. Consider a river that meets a boulder in its path. It does not stop flowing. It does not turn back in defeat. Instead, it moves around the rock, carving a new channel, creating a new way. In the same way, obstacles do not end your journey, they redirect it. They teach you to be flexible, to trust, and to continue moving forward, knowing that life always provides another path. The key is not to curse the obstacle, but to ask, what gift is this hiding? What door is this opening for me? When you approach challenges with this perspective, you no longer see them as punishments, but as invitations. Invitations to grow, to shift, to step into a greater version of yourself. Every obstacle is temporary, but the gift it carries is eternal. And when the gift finally reveals itself, you will look back and understand why the obstacle had to be there. It was never blocking you. It was guiding you. It was not the end of the path, but the hidden doorway into a greater blessing than you could have imagined. The surprise blessing is not far. It is already moving through the unseen to reach you. What you desire, what you have prayed for, what you have silently longed for in the secret places of your heart is not distant. It is not locked away in some far-off future. It is alive, already in motion, already making its way toward you through paths you cannot yet see. Just because it has not arrived in your hands does not mean it is not real. The unseen is always more alive than the seen, and what exists there is only waiting for the right moment to break through into your experience. So often people give up in the space between asking and receiving. They look at the silence, the stillness, the lack of visible evidence, and assume nothing is happening. They think the blessing has been delayed, or worse, denied. But what they fail to understand is that the silence is not absence, it is preparation. Behind the curtain of life, things are being aligned, doors are being positioned, people are being moved, all so that the blessing can arrive in perfect timing. You do not see the seed once it is planted beneath the soil, but that does not mean it is dead. It is growing in darkness, hidden from your eyes, drawing nourishment, taking root, and then one day, without warning, it breaks through the surface and you see the life that was there all along. So it is with your blessing. Just because it is hidden in the unseen does not mean it is far. It is nearer than your breath, waiting for the moment to reveal itself. Understand that the unseen world is the womb of all creation. Everything that has ever appeared in your life was first invisible. The home you live in, the clothes you wear, the job you hold, all of it was once unseen until it took form. In the same way, your blessing already exists in the invisible, and it is moving toward visibility with every passing moment. Your role is not to chase after it with struggle or to doubt it when you cannot trace it. Your role is to remain in quiet expectation, to live as if it is already yours, to trust that the unseen is faithfully working on your behalf. The more you trust, the more open you are to receiving. Doubt builds walls. Faith opens doors. Fear slows the process. Gratitude speeds it forward. There will come a moment when the unseen breaks into the seen, and you will stand face to face with the blessing you once only imagined. It will feel sudden, like a surprise, but in truth, it was always on its way. It was always moving, always aligning, always closer than you realized. Hold fast then. Do not despair in the silence. Do not give up in the waiting. The surprise blessing is not far. It is already moving through the unseen to reach you. And when it arrives, you will understand that it was never delayed, only divinely timed. Every thought, every inner word, every quiet expectation is shaping the life you are walking into. What looks like delay is preparation. What feels like disappointment is a hidden doorway. Your inner conversations are the script, your expectation the magnet, and your faith the bridge between the unseen and the seen. The blessing you have been waiting for is not far. It is already alive, already moving toward you, and it will arrive in perfect time. Live as though it is done, walk as though it is near, and soon you will stand in the very miracle you once only imagined. Thanks. Thank you for listening, for opening your heart, and for allowing these words to remind you of the power within you. Stay faithful, stay expectant, and remember, your surprise blessing is already on its way. There is a great secret hidden in plain sight, yet only those who quiet the mind can perceive it. What is truly yours cannot be taken, nor does it require force to attain. You have been taught to struggle, to chase, to work tirelessly for what you desire. But observe nature. Does the sun strain to rise? Does the river force its way to the ocean? No. All moves with effortless precision because it knows its course. The same principle governs your life. You were never meant to struggle for what is already yours. The moment you believe you must fight for your desires, you declare that they are separate from you, and what is separate will remain so. Learn to be still and know. Imagine right now that what you seek is already yours. Not in some distant future, but here, now. Feel it. Breathe it in. What does it feel like to already possess it? The moment you reach this state of conviction, the outer world must shift to reflect it. Do not ask how. Do not try to control the means. That is not your concern. Your only work is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and rest in it. Those who mastered this art walk through life with ease. They do not chase, they do not beg, they do not force. They simply become, and the world bends to accommodate their reality. So I ask you today, will you continue to strive in vain, or will you finally allow? For in the stillness of belief, all things are made manifest. You've been taught that effort equals reward, that to achieve anything of value you must struggle, strive, and push against resistance. But what if the very act of striving is the reason your desires remain out of reach? What if the harder you try, the further you push your dreams away? This is the great paradox of life. What you chase runs, what you force resists, and what you fight against only grows stronger. The moment you believe that something requires effort, you declare that it is separate from you, outside of you, something to be obtained rather than something that already exists within. And in doing so, you reinforce its absence. The key to manifestation is not struggle but alignment. It is not about trying harder, working longer, or proving yourself worthy. It is about recognizing that all you seek is already within you, waiting to be expressed. The more you push, the more you affirm that you do not have it, that it is not yet yours, that you must earn it. But this is an illusion. Reality does not respond to effort. It responds to belief. Consider the effortless way in which the natural world operates. The sun does not force itself to rise, it simply does. The river does not struggle to reach the ocean, it flows with ease, trusting the path before it. A tree does not force its growth, it expands in harmony with the seasons. There is no resistance, no strain, no desperation, only an unfolding, a becoming. Ask yourself, why should your life be any different? Why should what is meant for you require struggle? The moment you let go of the belief that effort is necessary, you step into a realm where manifestation happens naturally. To manifest effortlessly, you must first accept that your desire is already yours. This is not wishful thinking, it is the truth of creation. The world you see is merely a reflection of your inner state. When you believe you must fight for something, the world gives you more battles to fight. When you assume it is already done, reality rearranges itself to confirm your assumption. But how do you reach this state of effortless manifestation? You do so by embodying the feeling of already having what you desire. You do not need to force yourself to believe. You only need to dwell in the feeling of fulfillment. If you wanted warmth, you would not struggle or beg for the sun to shine. You would simply step into the sunlight and feel its warmth. In the same way, You must step into the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Close your eyes and imagine for a moment that what you desire is already here. Feel the reality of it. If it is wealth, feel the security and freedom it brings. If it is love, feel the warmth and joy of companionship. If it is success, feel the deep satisfaction of accomplishment. The more you rest in this state, the more naturally it will manifest in your external world. So many resist this truth. They say, but I must do something. I must take action. Yes, but not from a place of force. Inspired action will come naturally when you are in alignment. It will not feel like effort. It will feel like the next logical step, like something you are pulled toward, rather than something you must push through. Those who manifest effortlessly understand this secret. They do not chase, they do not struggle, they do not exhaust themselves trying to control every detail. They know that the power lies in assumption, in conviction, in knowing that what they seek is already theirs. And so they relax, they trust, they align, and the world bends to their belief. This is not magic, it is law. What you assume to be true will always be reflected in your reality. If you assume difficulty, life will confirm it. If you assume ease, the path will clear before you. Look around and you will see the evidence everywhere. Those who struggle, struggle endlessly, while those who move with quiet confidence seem to attract success with little effort. The only difference between them is the state they dwell in. The struggler believes in struggle, so life gives them more to struggle against. The one who trusts in ease experiences a life of ease. Which will you choose? Will you continue to push, to strive, to exhaust yourself trying to control what was never meant to be forced? Or will you finally let go, step into alignment, and allow what is already yours to come to you effortlessly? The choice is yours. But know this. The moment you stop trying so hard, the moment you surrender to the knowing that your desire is already fulfilled, is the moment everything begins to shift. For in that state of effortless certainty, all things are made manifest. Your world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state. It mirrors back to you exactly what you believe to be true. If you believe that life is hard, that success is difficult, that love is scarce, your reality will confirm it at every turn. If you believe that things must be forced into place, that you must struggle and strive to make things happen, then struggle is exactly what you will experience. This is the nature of belief. It does not simply influence reality, it shapes it. Every experience, every encounter, every circumstance you face is a projection of what you hold true within. The moment you understand this, you will stop looking to the outside world for confirmation and begin to turn inward, for that is where the real work is done. Most people do not realize they are living out their assumptions. They wake up and see the same problems, the same obstacles, the same limitations, and they think this is just the way life is. But what they fail to see is that life is only reflecting back to them their deepest convictions. It does not operate independently of their beliefs. It is not happening to them. It is happening through them. Now, consider what happens when you believe that everything must be forced into existence. When you believe that effort, struggle, and sacrifice are the only ways to get what you want, you create a reality where things come with difficulty. You push and push, and yet the more you push, the more resistance you meet. Every step forward feels like an uphill battle. You tell yourself, if I just work harder, if I just try more, then surely things will change. But they don't. And the reason they don't is simple. You are creating from a state of resistance. And resistance only breeds more resistance. The truth is, life does not need your force, it needs your alignment. It needs you to trust in the unseen forces that are already at work on your behalf. When you shift your belief from I must force things to happen to everything is unfolding naturally in my favor, you step into a different experience entirely. Instead of obstacles, you find doors opening effortlessly. Instead of struggle, you experience flow. Instead of waiting anxiously for results, you rest in the knowing that they are already yours. But how does one embody this belief? How does one shift from a mindset of force to a mindset of trust? It begins by understanding that reality is not something you manipulate externally. It is something you shape internally. Your thoughts, your emotions, your assumptions, these are the true creators of your experience. Start by observing your current beliefs. What do you assume about life, about money, about love, about success? Do you believe that good things come easily to you, or do you believe you must fight for them? Do you believe that opportunities find you effortlessly, or do you believe you must chase them endlessly? The answers to these questions will reveal why your life looks the way it does. Once you become aware of your beliefs, you can begin to change them. This is not done through effort, but through persistence in a new state of mind. If you have lived in a state of lack, begin to embody the belief that abundance is natural. If you have believed that love is hard to find, begin to assume that it flows freely to you. If you have thought that success requires sacrifice, shift your assumption to one of ease. This is not about forcing yourself to think positively. It is about shifting your inner state so completely that the world has no choice but to reflect it. And the key to this shift is feeling. You cannot simply repeat new beliefs like affirmations and expect change. You must feel the truth of them. You must walk as though they are already real, breathe as though they are already yours. Move through the world with a quiet confidence that what you seek is seeking you. The moment you embody a new belief fully, reality begins to conform. People, events, and opportunities will align with your assumption. You will experience what many call luck, but it is not luck. It is the power of belief in motion. Some will doubt this. They will say, "But I have always worked hard, and that is why I am successful." Yet even that belief, "I must work hard to succeed," is an assumption they have imposed upon their reality. There are those who have succeeded with ease, not because they were lucky, but because they never believed it had to be difficult in the first place. So, ask yourself, what do I truly believe? What am I assuming about my life, my circumstances, my future? And if my world is only a reflection of these beliefs, am I willing to change them? When you release the need to force, when you trust in the unfolding, when you embody the feeling of already having what you desire, life moves to accommodate you. It may seem paradoxical, but the less you force, the faster things happen. The more you believe in ease, the more ease you experience. And the moment you let go of resistance, you step into the effortless flow of creation. This is the power of belief. It is the key to everything, and the choice is yours. Will you continue to struggle against life, or will you finally allow it to unfold in your favor? Creation begins within. Long before anything appears in the external world, it is first established in the mind. Every experience, every circumstance, every success or failure is the direct result of what you have accepted as true within yourself. The world does not create reality for you, it only reflects back what you hold in consciousness. If you wish to change what you see, you must first change what you assume to be real. This is the secret to effortless manifestation. You do not force things into being, nor do you chase after them. Instead, you assume the state of already having what you desire. You step into the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And when you do this, the world has no choice but to conform. Most people live as though they must wait for external proof before they can believe in their desires. They say, "I will believe it when I see it." But this is not how creation works. The external world is always the last to change. If you wait for things to appear before you believe they are real, you will remain stuck, endlessly waiting for a shift that will never come. The truth is, you must first believe fully, deeply, without doubt, and then the world will reflect your belief back to you. To relax into the wish fulfilled means to surrender the need to force, to struggle, or to question how it will happen. It is to rest in the knowing that what you desire is already yours. This is not an act of pretending or hoping. It is an act of being. You must assume the identity of the one who already possesses what they seek. You must feel in the present moment the joy, the satisfaction, and the confidence that come from knowing your desire is already accomplished. The power of imagination is the bridge between what is unseen and what becomes real. When you close your eyes and step into the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are creating a new state of consciousness. And since consciousness is the only true reality, this new state must eventually manifest in the physical world. The key is to dwell in this feeling, not for a few fleeting moments, but as a constant, natural state of being. The greatest mistake people make is thinking that they must do something external to bring their desires to pass. They believe they must manipulate circumstances, control others, or work tirelessly to force things into place. But all of this stems from a belief in lack, a belief that what they want is separate from them. This is an illusion. The moment you assume your desire is already fulfilled, the need for effort dissolves. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer doubt, you know. And with this shift, everything changes. Consider the way the mind works in everyday life. If you were told that an event you had been looking forward to had just been confirmed, you would immediately feel relief, excitement, and anticipation. You would not need to force yourself to believe. It would feel natural because you have accepted it as true. In the same way, when you truly accept that your wish is already fulfilled, you no longer struggle with impatience or doubt. You relax because you know it is done. But what about those who say, I have imagined my wish fulfilled, but nothing has changed? The answer is simple. They have not truly assumed it. They may have thought about it, visualized it, even spoken about it, but deep inside they still hold the belief that it is not yet real. They still feel the absence of it rather than the presence of it. True manifestation is not in the words you say or the actions you take. It is in the feeling you hold. To embody the wish fulfilled, you must live from the end. You must think, feel, and act as though your desire is already a reality. This does not mean pretending or playing a role. It means aligning your inner state with the reality you wish to experience. When you do this, you no longer ask, when will it happen? Because you already feel as if it has happened. You no longer worry about how it will come because you trust that it is already unfolding in perfect order. However, you relax. You stop questioning, doubting, or trying to make things happen. You step into ease, into trust, into the certainty that what you desire is already yours. And as you do, the external world rearranges itself effortlessly to reflect your new state of being. This is the way of true creation. It does not require struggle. It does not demand force. It only asks that you accept with full conviction that what you seek is already here. And once you do, you will see the evidence unfold before you effortlessly, naturally, as though it was always meant to be. There is a higher intelligence at work in your life, an unseen force that moves in perfect harmony, arranging events beyond what your mind can comprehend. Yet, most people live as though they must control everything, as if their personal will alone is responsible for making things happen. They struggle, they worry, and they attempt to manipulate circumstances. The mind is limited when it tries to control everything. It sees only what is in front of it, only what has already been manifested, and it assumes that reality is fixed. But reality is fluid. It is shaped by consciousness. And the moment you surrender your need to force things into place, you allow the unseen forces to work on your behalf. Surrender is not about giving up. It is not about passivity or resignation. It is about releasing the need to interfere and trusting that the intelligence governing all of existence is already working things out in your favor. When you step back and allow, rather than push, you create space for miracles to unfold. The greatest obstacles to manifestation come from within: doubt, fear, impatience, and the urge to control. These emotions arise when you believe that you alone must make things happen, that without constant effort your desires will slip away. But this is an illusion. The moment you release the struggle, you make room for something greater to take over. Consider the way nature operates. A tree does not force itself to grow. It does not question whether the sun will rise or if the rain will come. It simply exists in a state of trust, knowing that all will be provided in the right time and in the right way. In the same way, when you surrender to the high intelligence that governs all things, you align yourself with the natural flow of life. Many believe that surrender means losing control, but the opposite is true. When you surrender, you step into true power, the power that comes from knowing that everything is already being taken care of. You no longer need to micromanage life because you understand that there is a wisdom far greater than your conscious mind, orchestrating the details in ways you could never plan. How many times have you worried about something, only to later realize that everything worked out perfectly? How often has an opportunity, a meeting, or an outcome aligned in such a way that you could not have arranged it better yourself? These are not coincidences. They are evidence that when you stop interfering, when you trust instead of force, life flows in your favor. People resist this truth. They hold tightly to their plans, their timelines, their need for certainty. They believe that if they let go, things will fall apart. But letting go does not mean losing control. It means shifting control from the limited mind to the infinite intelligence that governs all things. It means allowing events to unfold in the highest and best way, rather than insisting on a specific path. Imagine you are holding water in your hands. If you grip too tightly, the water slips through your fingers. But if you relax, if you cup your hands gently, the water remains effortlessly in place. This is the essence of surrender. The more you try to force things, the more they escape you. But when you trust, when you step back and allow, what you desire naturally comes to you. This does not mean you take no action. Inspired action is different from forced action. Forced action comes from fear, from the belief that you must make things happen or else they won't. Inspired action, on the other hand, flows naturally. It feels effortless, like an internal nudge guiding you in the right direction. You do not have to overthink it. You simply follow the intuitive pull, knowing that it is leading you exactly where you need to go. Once you start following it, it gives you internal clarity that you are on the right path, and you get the benefits in life that you so much deserve. The challenge for most people is patience. They want immediate results. They plant a seed and then dig it up every day to check if it has grown. But manifestation does not work this way. You must trust that once you have set an intention, once you have aligned yourself with the feeling of already having what you desire, the unseen forces are taking care of the rest. If you find yourself anxious, doubting, or feeling the urge to control, remind yourself of this truth. The same intelligence that moves the stars, that opens the flowers, that brings the seasons, is the same intelligence guiding your life. You do not need to force anything. You only need to align with the knowing that it is already done. You surrender, not in defeat but in faith. You release the need to know how, when, or through whom your desire will manifest. You trust that the unseen forces are orchestrating events in your favor, working behind the scenes in ways you cannot yet see. And as you do, you find peace, ease, and the quiet certainty that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Nirvana, as you live your life being yourself and looking out for others, the answer comes in the form of peace and harmony. This is the power of surrender. It is not weakness. It is the highest form of strength. It is the understanding that you are never alone, that you are never without guidance, and that what is meant for you cannot be lost. When you let go, when you trust, when you allow, you step into the effortless flow of creation. And in that space, everything you seek comes to you. Not through struggle, but through the grace of knowing it was always yours. The greatest barrier to manifestation is not a lack of ability, but an obsession with the how. The mind seeks to analyze, control, and map out every step as if reality must conform to a predetermined path. But this need for control is the very thing that creates resistance. When you fixate on the mechanics of manifestation, how it will happen, when it will happen, through whom it will happen, you are focusing on the absence of your desire rather than its fulfillment. Your only task is to assume the feeling of already having what you seek. This is the essence of true creation. The path is not yours to dictate. It is already established by a higher intelligence. The moment you surrender the need to control the details, you make way for the unseen forces to orchestrate events in a way that is far greater than anything you could devise. Think of a seed planted in the soil. It does not concern itself with the mechanics of its growth. It does not ask how the sun will shine upon it, how the rain will come, or how its roots will find nourishment. It simply rests in the knowing that everything it needs will be provided at the right time. Likewise, when you hold the assumption of fulfillment, you need not worry about how things will unfold. The assumption that you fully imagine the state of events as they occur, you only need to remain steadfast in your conviction. Detachment from the how does not mean indifference. It does not mean you do not care about your desire. It means you trust so deeply in its fulfillment that you do not waste energy questioning the process. You have already claimed it as yours in consciousness, and therefore it must come to pass. It is not your concern whether it arrives through a seemingly impossible chain of events or through the most ordinary means. The how is irrelevant because the outcome is certain. Consider the many times in life when something worked out in a way you never expected. You may have worried, doubted, or tried to force an outcome, only to find that the moment you released control, the answer appeared effortlessly. This is the law at work. What you seek is seeking you, but it cannot reach you as long as you are tangled in worry, impatience, or doubt. The moment you let go, you allow the path to unfold in ways beyond your imagination. Most people hinder their manifestations because they believe they must manipulate reality to get what they want. They believe they must work harder, strive more, or force things into place. But reality does not respond to force. It responds to assumption. The external world is simply a reflection of the inner state. If you assume that your desire is already fulfilled, the world must rearrange itself to mirror that assumption. Then come into your mind a goal of achievement such as this, to become who you are. But if you assume that you must struggle, figure things out, and obsess over the details, then struggle is what you will experience. Detachment is not about passivity, it is about certainty. It is the quiet confidence of knowing that what you have claimed in imagination must solidify into form. It is trusting that the universe, God, or the infinite intelligence that governs all things is already setting the perfect course for your desire to reach you. The doors will open, the right people will appear, the opportunities will align. But none of this is your burden to figure out. Your only responsibility is to remain unwavering in the assumption that it is already done. Doubt is the greatest disruptor of this process. When you question whether it is working, when you look for evidence in the outer world before you have fully assumed the feeling within, you plant seeds of uncertainty, and what you plant must grow. Instead of checking for proof, embody the certainty that it is already unfolding. Let go of the need to see immediate results and trust that movement is happening, even if it is not yet visible. Imagine walking into a dark room and flipping a light switch. You do not stand there wondering if the light will turn on. You assume it will because you understand how electricity works. Likewise, assume that the unseen forces are always at work, arranging circumstances in alignment with your inner state. You do not need to question the process, only to live in the end result. If you find yourself tempted to interfere, remind yourself that your desire is already fulfilled in consciousness. Any attempt to control the external world only affirms that you do not believe in its certainty. Step back, breathe, relax into the knowing that the path is unfolding perfectly, even if you cannot yet see how. The mind is limited. It can only conceive of possibilities based on past experiences, but the intelligence that governs reality is limitless. It can bring about your desire in ways that defy logic, in ways that appear miraculous. This is why detachment from the how is so powerful. It allows the infinite to operate without obstruction. When you truly understand this, you release all struggle. You no longer seek signs, no longer question whether it is working, no longer attempt to force movement. You rest in the assumption of fulfillment, and in that stillness, the path reveals itself effortlessly. This is the art of creation, not through effort, but through absolute faith in the unseen.
There is an effortless rhythm to life, a current that carries all things to their perfect fulfillment. Everything in nature follows this rhythm. The tides ebb and flow, the seasons change without struggle, the planets move in their orbits without force. Yet, as human beings, we often resist this natural flow, believing that force and effort are required to achieve our desires. This belief is an illusion. The more you push, the more you affirm that what you desire is separate from you. The more you force, the more resistance you create. True manifestation does not come from struggle, but from alignment with the effortless movement of life itself. When you force something, you are declaring that it is not already yours. You are operating from lack, from a belief that you must manipulate reality to receive what you desire. But creation is not an act of force, it is an act of allowing. Life is always working in your favor, but you must step into harmony with its rhythm. The river does not struggle to reach the ocean, it simply flows. It does not resist the bends in its path, it moves with them, knowing that it will ultimately arrive. Forcing creates tension, and tension blocks the very thing you seek. Imagine trying to hold water in your hands by squeezing it tightly. Most of it slips through your fingers. But if you relax your hands and allow the water to rest in your palm, it remains. This is the way of effortless creation. The more you try to control and manipulate, the more your desire evades you. But when you relax and trust the flow, what you seek moves toward you naturally. Most people believe that struggle is necessary. They have been conditioned to think that success only comes through effort, that love must be chased, that opportunities must be forced into place. But if you observe the most effortless manifestations in life, you will see that they happen when resistance is absent. Think of the moments when things simply fell into place, when the right person appeared at the perfect time, when an opportunity arrived without effort. These are reminders of how life truly works. When you align with the flow, everything moves toward you. There is an intelligence greater than the mind, one that orchestrates all things with perfect timing. When you trust in this intelligence, you no longer need to force anything. You move with life, not against it. This does not mean you take no action. It means your actions are inspired rather than forced. Inspired action feels natural, effortless. It is the kind of movement that comes from deep knowing, from intuition, from the feeling that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Forcing, on the other hand, comes from fear. It is driven by doubt, by impatience, by the belief that if you do not push, nothing will happen. But forcing only creates friction. It disconnects you from the natural rhythm of life. The more you force, the more obstacles seem to arise. The more you allow, the more doors open effortlessly. Consider a person who desperately wants love, but is constantly chasing, pleading, or trying to make someone love them. Their energy is one of lack and fear, and so they repel the very love they seek. Now, consider someone who simply knows they are worthy of love, who trusts that the right person will come at the right time. They do not chase, they do not force, they do not beg. and yet love finds them effortlessly because they are in harmony with the flow of life. This principle applies to all things: wealth, success, health, happiness. When you relax and trust, you align with the natural current of abundance. The universe knows the fastest route to your desires, but it cannot deliver them while you are blocking the flow with doubt and force. The moment you step back, the moment you let go of your grip, the moment you surrender control, the path clears. Trusting the flow does not mean being passive. It means being receptive. It means listening to the subtle nudges of intuition rather than forcing things to happen. It means taking action when it feels natural rather than out of desperation. It means understanding that what is meant for you cannot miss you, and what is not meant for you will never stay, no matter how much you force it. When you embody this way of being, life becomes effortless. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer struggle, you allow. You no longer fear delays, you trust that timing is always perfect. You no longer worry about how things will unfold. You know that the flow of life is carrying you exactly where you need to be.
There comes a moment in life when everything shifts. A moment when what seemed impossible suddenly becomes possible. When doors that were once shut are thrown wide open, and when the burdens you carried for so long are lifted in an instant. That moment is upon you. The miracle you have been waiting for is already in motion. But the question is, are you ready to receive it? Many believe that miracles come as a surprise, as though they arrive unannounced, but that is not so. Every great shift, every blessing, and every breakthrough first begins within you before it is made visible. What you see around you today is nothing more than the result of past assumptions, past beliefs, and past expectations. If you desire a miracle, you must first make space for it in your mind. Right now, regardless of how things may seem, I tell you, assume the feeling that your miracle is already here. If it were true, how would you feel? If the answer you've been seeking had already come, how would you act? The greatest key to receiving a miracle is to prepare for it as though it were already done. Let your mind, your emotions, and your very being align with the reality that it is finished. Doubt will whisper, but how? When? From where? Do not concern yourself with such questions, for they are distractions. The ways of God are beyond human understanding. The ways of God are beyond human understanding. The moment you surrender the how and fully accept that it must come to pass, you have unlocked the floodgates. Watch for the signs will begin to appear. You will notice subtle shifts, moments of divine alignment, and doors opening where there were once walls. Do not dismiss them. These are the whispers of the unseen world making itself known. Every small sign is confirmation that the greater manifestation is on its way. And so I say to you, rejoice now. Do not wait for the miracle to appear before you celebrate. Give thanks today as though the blessing has already arrived. Walk with the confidence of one who has already received, speak as one who already possesses, and believe as one who has already seen. This is the key to unlocking the miracle that is on its way to you. Be ready. The impossible is about to become possible. The unseen is about to be seen. What you have prayed for, hoped for, and longed for is about to be placed in your hands. God is moving, and your miracle is here. Are you ready? The world you experience is not separate from you. It is a reflection of you. Every condition, every circumstance, every so-called chance event is but a shadow cast by the unseen forces within you. The miracle you seek is not something coming from the outside to change your life. It is something rising from within to shape what is seen. The moment you understand this truth, you awaken to the greatest power given to you, the ability to create from within. Look at the world around you, the people you meet, the situations you find yourself in, the opportunities that come your way, and even the challenges you face. All of them are reflections of the state of your inner world. What you hold in consciousness, whether in faith or in fear, must express itself in form. There is no escaping this law. You may believe that external forces dictate the direction of your life, but the truth is, you are the cause and your world is the effect. If you desire a miracle, then you must first give birth to it in your imagination. You must feel it, know it, and live in the awareness of its reality before it has yet appeared. This is where many falter. They look at their current reality and assume that it is fixed, unchangeable, or that change can only come from struggle, effort, or the intervention of something greater than themselves. But what if the miracle has already begun? What if at this very moment, unseen forces are aligning in your favor, waiting only for you to recognize and accept the truth that it is already done? Consider a seed planted in the soil. If one were to look at the ground the next day and see nothing, they might assume that nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, the seed has begun its work. The roots are forming, the energy is moving, and in time, it will break through the surface to be seen by all. The same is true of the miracle forming in your life. Just because you do not see it with your eyes, does not mean it is not already taking shape. The unseen realm is more real than the visible one, and what is held persistently in the mind must be made manifest in the world. Doubt is the great thief of miracles. Many hold on to a desire, but also hold on to the fear that it will not come. They allow their present circumstances to dictate their faith, rather than their faith to dictate their circumstances. But the one who understands the law knows that the external is merely an echo of the internal. If you persist in the belief that your miracle is already here, if you refuse to entertain any thought of lack, delay, or failure, then the world must bend to reflect this inner knowing. Let go of the illusion that you must struggle to receive. Miracles are not given to the worthy, they are given to the expectant. If you would truly receive, you must align yourself with the certainty that what you seek is already yours. Walk as though it has already been done. Speak as though you have already received. Rejoice now, not in hope, but in certainty. Think of the moments in your life when something unexpected yet wonderful happened. Perhaps an opportunity came at just the right time. A door opened when you least expected it, or a solution arrived seemingly out of nowhere. These moments were not accidents. They were manifestations of unseen forces responding to the patterns of your inner world. If you desire a miracle now, shift your inner world to match it. See yourself already possessing what you desire. Feel the joy, the relief, the gratitude as though it were already in your hands. If you do this faithfully, the outer world must conform. The law is unwavering, and what is impressed upon the unseen must express itself in the seen. Your world is not happening to you, it is happening through you. The conditions of your life are not obstacles preventing your miracle, they are the stepping stones leading you to it. Even the challenges you face now are not signs of failure, but signs that transformation is underway. Hold firm in your belief, for the moment you surrender to the truth that your miracle is already forming, you open the way for it to unfold effortlessly. The unseen forces are moving, the energy is shifting, and the doors are unlocking. Your only task is to remain unwavering in the truth that what you seek is seeking you. The miracle is not distant, it is not delayed, it is here, now, within you, waiting only for you to claim it. And imagine that the miracle you have been waiting for has already happened. Feel it, experience the relief, the joy, the gratitude that would flood your heart if you knew with absolute certainty that everything had already fallen into place. If you can hold this feeling, if you can dwell in this state long enough, then you have unlocked the greatest secret of manifestation. What you assume to be true in the depths of your being must become true in your external world. This is not wishful thinking. It is the law of creation. Most people live in reaction to what they see, believing that they must first witness change before they can feel it. But the truth is the opposite. The world is only a mirror, reflecting back the state of your inner being. If you wait for evidence before you believe, you will wait forever. But if you assume the feeling of your miracle now, before the physical proof appears, you set in motion the unseen forces that shape reality. You must learn to discipline your imagination, for it is the bridge between what is unseen and what becomes seen. Every great change, every breakthrough, every answered prayer begins first as an assumption, a state of mind fully accepted as real. If you assume lack, struggle, or delay, you will unknowingly create more of it. But if you assume that you are already living in the reality you desire, then the world must conform to match that assumption. Think of the times in your life when you felt deep certainty about something before it happened. Perhaps there was a moment when you just knew that an opportunity was yours, even before you received confirmation. Or maybe there was a time when you expected bad news, and it came exactly as you feared. This is the power of assumption. It is always working, whether you use it consciously or not. The key is to direct it deliberately toward the life you want. Right now, regardless of what your senses tell you, begin to assume the feeling of your miracle. If your body were healed, how would you feel? If your financial situation had already turned around, what kind of peace would settle over you? If your deepest desire were already fulfilled, how would you carry yourself? Allow yourself to fully step into that feeling now, even if nothing has changed externally. The moment you do, you shift your inner state, and reality must rearrange itself accordingly. Some will say, but how can I feel something that isn't real yet? The answer is simple. Your feelings do not come from the world. They come from your thoughts. If you close your eyes and vividly imagine standing in your dream home, touching the walls, hearing the echoes of your footsteps, and breathing in the air, your body does not know the difference between that imagined experience and reality. It responds as if it were real. The same is true for any miracle you seek. The more deeply you assume the feeling of already having it, the more powerfully you call it into existence. Doubt is the only thing that can disrupt this process. The moment you allow conflicting thoughts to take root, you dilute the power of your assumption. That is why persistence is key. You must return again and again to the feeling of already having what you seek, refusing to entertain any thought that contradicts it. Let the world say what it will. Let circumstances appear unchanged. None of it matters if you remain steadfast in your inner conviction. There will be signs before the full manifestation appears. You will notice subtle shifts, small coincidences, unexpected opportunities, or moments of deep inner knowing. Do not dismiss them. These are confirmations that your assumption is taking form. The more you acknowledge these signs and remain in the feeling of already having what you desire, the faster it will materialize. Gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to sustain this feeling. Give thanks not for what you hope will come, but for what you know is already yours. When you express gratitude as if the miracle has already happened, you accelerate its arrival. You no longer place yourself in a state of waiting, but in a state of having, and the universe responds accordingly. Your only task is to remain unwavering in your assumption. The world cannot help but reflect what you persistently feel to be true. So assume the feeling of your miracle already happening and watch as it moves from the unseen into the seen, from imagination into reality. It is already done. Now, live as though it is. Doubt and fear are the great thieves of miracles. They creep in quietly, disguising themselves as logic, caution, and even wisdom. Yet their only purpose is to keep you from fully stepping into the life that is already waiting for you. The truth is, the only thing standing between you and the manifestation of your miracle is your own hesitation. The moment you release all doubt and fear, you open the way for what is already yours to appear in your world. Faith is not just believing in something, it is knowing with absolute certainty that what you desire is already yours, even when your senses tell you otherwise. Faith is the bridge that connects the unseen to the seen, the imagined to the real. But this bridge must be walked without hesitation. If you stand in the middle, unsure whether to continue forward or retreat in fear, you only delay the inevitable. The moment you take a firm step forward and refuse to look back, reality must shift in your favor. Think about what happens when you plant a seed in the ground. You do not stand over it in doubt, questioning whether it will grow. You do not dig it up every few days to check if anything is happening beneath the soil. You simply trust the process. You know that as long as the conditions are right, growth is inevitable. Your desires, your prayers, and your visions are no different. The moment you plant them in the fertile soil of your mind and nourish them with unwavering belief, they must take root and grow. But if you allow doubt and fear to interfere, you disrupt the process. You uproot what was already beginning to manifest, slowing down what was meant to come easily. Fear convinces you that your desires are too big, that you are unworthy, or that obstacles stand in your way. But these are illusions. The only power they have is the power you give them. The moment you decide that fear has no place in your mind, it loses all control over you. The same goes for doubt. If you constantly question whether your miracle will happen, you are sending a mixed signal to the universe. You are asking for something while at the same time refusing to believe it can come. But when you replace doubt with absolute trust, when you let go of hesitation and step boldly into the certainty that what you desire is already making its way to you, the entire universe moves to align with that conviction. How do you let go of doubt and fear? By shifting your focus. Stop looking at what is missing and start seeing what is already unfolding. Stop questioning when or how it will happen and start knowing that it is happening. Live as though your miracle has already arrived. Feel the relief, the joy, the gratitude as though it were already done. The more you dwell in this state, the more real it becomes. And soon, it must take form in the physical world. Every person who has ever achieved something great has had to overcome doubt and fear. They had to act as though success was inevitable, even when there was no evidence of it yet. The same principle applies to you. Whatever miracle you seek, whether it is healing, financial breakthrough, love, or any other desire, it is already forming. The only thing that can keep it from appearing is your own disbelief. But the moment you let go fully and completely and trust that it is done, the way is cleared for it to arrive effortlessly. There is nothing you need to force. The miracle does not require struggle, only alignment. The doors that seem closed now are not locked. They are waiting for you to approach with confidence, knowing they will open. The opportunities you think are out of reach are already within your grasp. You just need to step forward and claim them. Let go of every thought that tells you it is not possible. Let go of every fear that whispers of failure. These are merely shadows, powerless unless you give them substance. Fill your mind with certainty. Speak as though your miracle is already here. Walk as though the path is already clear. Rest in the knowing that what is meant for you cannot be lost, and what is truly yours is already on its way. When you release doubt and fear, you make room for faith. And faith is the force that transforms the unseen into the seen. The miracle is not something distant, waiting for the right moment to appear. It is already here, waiting for you to believe in it fully. Let go of hesitation, let go of fear, step forward with complete trust, and watch as what was once unseen becomes undeniable reality. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine that everything you've been waiting for has already happened. The struggle is over, the uncertainty has vanished, and the life you have longed for is now your reality. How do you feel? Relieved? Overjoyed? Peaceful? If you can hold this feeling within you, if you can make it your dwelling place, then you have unlocked the greatest secret of all: to live as though it is already done. Most people live in reaction to what they see. They wait for external proof before they allow themselves to believe, to celebrate, or to feel at peace. But this is backward. The world does not change first. You do. The moment you assume that your desire is already fulfilled and begin to act, think, and feel in alignment with that reality, the world must adjust to reflect your inner state. The truth is, you are always living in alignment with something. If you believe in delay, you will experience delay. If you assume struggle, you will continue to struggle. But the moment you shift your focus and accept that what you seek is already yours, you step into a new version of yourself, one that is aligned with the very thing you desire. This is not wishful thinking. It is the creative power of belief in action. Imagine someone who has been longing for financial abundance, but continues to think, act, and feel as though they are struggling. They say, "When I have more money, I'll feel secure." But because they do not yet feel secure, they remain trapped in the cycle of lack. Now picture someone who begins to live as though they already have all that they need. They stop worrying, they move through life with confidence, and they express gratitude as though the abundance has already arrived. Soon their outer world begins to mirror this inner certainty, and opportunities appear where before there were none. This principle applies to everything: love, success, health, happiness. Whatever it is that you seek, you must first become the version of yourself that already has it. If you desire love, carry yourself as someone who is deeply loved and cherished. If you desire success, think and act as someone who is already successful. If you desire healing, hold the feeling of vitality and wholeness within you. Everything that is within you, the highest truth, and the virtue and the wholeness within you, the energy you embody is the energy you attract. But this is where many hesitate. They ask, how can I act as though my life has changed when nothing has happened yet? The answer is simple. Reality is not fixed. It is shaped by your perception and belief. The moment you commit to the feeling of having, rather than waiting for proof, the proof must appear. You do not need to force anything. This is not about pretending or putting on an act for the world. It is about shifting your inner state so completely that you no longer doubt, you no longer ask when it will happen, because you already know that it has happened in the unseen. You walk with confidence, you think from the place of fulfillment, and you move through life with the certainty that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Doubt is the only thing that can block this process. If you waver between believing and questioning, you create resistance. But when you remain steadfast, when you refuse to entertain any thought contrary to your desire, the way must open. This is why persistence is key. The world may not change instantly, but if you hold firm, look at your life now. What would be different if you truly believed your miracle had already happened? Would you still feel anxious? Would you still worry about the outcome? Or would you rest in certainty, knowing that everything is already working in your favor? Choose to dwell in that certainty now. Feel the joy, the gratitude, and the peace of knowing it is already done. The moment you shift your state, the world begins to shift around you. Doors open effortlessly, circumstances change, and what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. This is not magic, it is the natural law of creation. Live as though it is already done, and watch as reality reshapes itself to match your conviction. The moment you set an intention, the universe begins to move. Even if you cannot yet see the full manifestation of your desire, the signs will start to appear. These signs are not coincidences, they are glimpses of what is unfolding, proof that your inner world is taking shape in the outer world. But you must learn to recognize them, affirm them, and trust that they are leading you toward the full realization of your miracle. Many people dismiss these early signs because they expect instant and dramatic change. They believe that if their desire has not yet arrived in its entirety, then nothing is happening. But manifestation is often a process, unfolding in steps. First, you will notice small shifts, unexpected opportunities, sudden insights, conversations that align perfectly with what you're seeking. These are signals that the energy is moving, that your faith is beginning to take form. Imagine someone who is manifesting financial abundance. Before a large sum of money appears, they may notice small, unexpected gifts, discounts, or financial opportunities coming their way. A free coffee, an old debt forgiven, a new business idea suddenly forming in their mind. These are signs that the flow has begun. If they dismiss these as insignificant, they may fall back into doubt, slowing the manifestation process. But if they recognize and affirm these signs as proof that abundance is on its way, they align even more deeply with the reality they desire. The same is true for love. If someone is manifesting a relationship, the first signs might not be the perfect partner arriving overnight. Instead, they may start noticing more acts of kindness around them, feeling an increased sense of self-love, or encountering people who mirror the qualities they are looking for. These are not accidents. They are evidence that their inner world is shifting, and soon the full manifestation will follow. One of the greatest mistakes people make is ignoring these small shifts because they seem too minor. But everything begins as a seed. The first sprout pushing through the soil is just as much a part of the tree as the branches that will one day bear fruit. If you disregard the early stages, you risk uprooting what is already growing. Instead, you must celebrate every sign, no matter how small, as confirmation that your desire is making its way to you. Synchronicities are another powerful sign. You may find yourself thinking about something, only for it to appear in conversation or in a book you randomly pick up. You may meet someone who provides exactly the insight you need, or hear a song that speaks directly to your current situation. These are not random occurrences. They are messages from the universe, nudging you forward, reassuring you that your miracle is unfolding. But you must pay attention. The more you recognize these signs, the more they will appear. The more you affirm them as proof of your manifestation, the stronger your belief becomes. And belief is what bridges the gap between the unseen and the seen. On the other hand, delays the process. If you see a sign and immediately question whether it means anything, you disrupt the flow. The universe is always responding to your dominant state of mind. If you are constantly looking for evidence that your manifestation isn't happening, you will find it. But if you train yourself to look for signs that it is happening, those signs will multiply. Gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to strengthen this process. When you acknowledge and appreciate even the smallest indication that things are moving in your favor, you send out the message that you are ready to receive. This speeds up the process. Instead of waiting in frustration, you are living in a state of trust and expectation. Consider how a traveler feels when they see signs on the road pointing toward their destination. They do not stop and question whether they are on the right path. They take the signs as confirmation and continue forward with confidence. Your signs work the same way. They are guiding you, showing you that what you have asked for is making its way into your reality. Pay attention, look for the shifts, the whispers, the synchronicities. Celebrate them, speak them aloud, affirm, this is proof that my desire is on its way. The more you do this, the faster your miracle will appear in full form. The signs will always precede the manifestation. Recognize them, trust them, and watch as the unseen becomes seen, as the promise transforms into reality. Gratitude is the bridge between where you are and where you desire to be. It is the ultimate state of receptivity, the signal that you are ready to receive what is already yours. When you embody gratitude, you are not asking, pleading, or hoping. You are affirming. You are declaring that what you seek is already unfolding, that the miracle is not something to chase, but something to welcome. Most people believe that gratitude should come after the blessing, that they must wait until they see the miracle before they give thanks. But this is not how manifestation works. The external world is simply a reflection of your internal state. If you withhold gratitude until your desire is visible, you are telling yourself that it does not yet exist, that you are separate from it. But the moment you shift into gratitude before the manifestation, you step into alignment with it. You make yourself a match to the reality where it is already done. Gratitude is more than a feeling. It is a frequency. When you are truly grateful, you emit the vibration of having, of fulfillment. You no longer operate from a state of lack or longing. You no longer wait anxiously, wondering if it will happen. You rest in certainty. You act, think, and feel as though the blessing is already yours. This is the key. Imagine someone who is expecting a gift. They do not question whether it is coming. They do not doubt or worry about when it will arrive. They are simply excited, expectant, and thankful in advance. They prepare a place for it, knowing that it is on its way. This is how you must approach your miracle. Your readiness is just as important as your gratitude. If you say you believe but make no room for the blessing, you are not truly expecting it. If you are asking for abundance but continue thinking like someone in lack, you are not prepared to receive. If you are seeking love but remain closed off, still holding on to past wounds, you are not open to it. Readiness is about aligning your entire being, your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the reality you desire. Think about a farmer who plants a seed. He does not simply place it in the ground and walk away in doubt. He nurtures it, waters it, and prepares for the harvest long before he sees any sign of growth. He does this because he understands a fundamental truth. What is planted must grow. Your desires work the same way. Once you have planted the seed of intention, your only task is to trust, to nurture your faith, and to prepare for the inevitable arrival. Ask yourself, are you making space for what you desire? Are you speaking as though it is already yours? Are you thinking from the place of fulfillment rather than lack? The way you live now must reflect the certainty that your miracle is already in motion. Doubt is the only thing that can delay the process. If you entertain thoughts of lack, if you question whether you are worthy, if you constantly wonder when it will happen, you are stepping out of alignment with the reality where it is already done. This is why unwavering conviction is crucial. Do not let what you see in the present moment shake your faith. The world must rearrange itself to match your belief, but you must hold steady. Gratitude is the anchor that keeps you in alignment. Even in moments where you cannot yet see the full manifestation, find reasons to give thanks. Look around at the blessings already present in your life. Recognize the small signs that things are shifting in your favor. Speak words of gratitude every day, not as a ritual, but as a way of being. When you are in a state of gratitude and readiness, you are like a vessel open to receive. You are not chasing, forcing, or doubting. You are allowing. You are saying, I know it is already done and I am ready. The universe responds to this certainty. Miracles do not come to those who beg, they come to those who believe. They come to those who are prepared, to those who have already made space in their hearts and minds for the blessing. So, walk in gratitude. Live as though it is already here. Be open, receptive, and unwavering in your conviction. The miracle is certain. It is already unfolding. Your only task is to stay in the state of knowing, trusting, and receiving. In the journey of bringing your miracle into reality, remember this. Everything begins within you. Your inner world shapes your outer experiences. Assume the feeling of your miracle already happening, and watch as the universe aligns in your favor. Release all doubt and fear. for they only serve to block the blessings already on their way. Live boldly as though it is already done, because it is. Recognize the signs that precede manifestation, those whispers and synchronicities that reassure you are on the right path. Stay in a state of gratitude and readiness, knowing that what you desire is certain and already yours. Your miracle is not a distant dream. It is a reality waiting to be claimed. Stand firm in your conviction, embrace your faith, and celebrate in advance. The unseen is becoming seen. Trust this process, for the power to create and transform lies within you. Thank you for allowing these words to remind you of the immense power that resides within. Your miracle is here. Be ready to receive it. Thank you. You have been taught to struggle, to fight, to force your way through life. But this is not the way. The more you push, the more resistance you create. The more you chase, the more your desires run from you. Let go, relax, trust. The moment you let go of doubt, you make room for the unseen to work in your favor. The moment you stop trying to control the outcome naturally aligns in your favor. Do you not see? The life you seek is already yours, but you must assume it is so. You must dwell in the feeling of it being done. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Think of a river. Does it strain to reach the ocean? No. It simply flows, and in flowing it finds its destination effortlessly. So must you. If you desire wealth, do not beg for it. Feel yourself already in possession of it. If you seek love, do not chase it. Become the embodiment of love, and it will be drawn to you. But to do this, you must trust. You must believe. You must surrender the false belief that you are separate from your desires. What you seek is already seeking you. Relax into the knowing that the universe has already answered. And when you finally release all resistance, when you finally rest in the truth that it is already yours, you will watch in wonder as it unfolds before your eyes. Let go, relax, trust, and it is done. From the moment we are born, we are conditioned to believe that effort equals reward, that struggle is the only path to success, and that we must constantly work, strive, and push to make things happen. We are taught that control is power, and that if we can just hold on tightly enough, plan carefully enough, and manipulate circumstances effectively enough, we can force life to bend to our will. But this is the great illusion. And the truth is, the more you try to control life, the more it slips through your fingers. The more you chase, the further your desires seem to run from you. Think of the ocean. The harder you fight against the waves, the more exhausted you become. But the moment you surrender and allow yourself to float, the water carries you effortlessly. Life works in much the same way. When you release the need to control, when you stop grasping at the external world in desperation, you make space for the natural flow of things to bring you exactly where you need to be. And have you ever noticed that the things you desperately try to hold on to are often the very things that slip away? Whether it is a relationship, an opportunity, or a dream, the act of forcing creates resistance. It is as if you are energetically signaling to the universe that you do not believe in its ability to bring you what you need, that you do not trust the natural unfolding of life. And so, in that energy of desperation, you push away the very thing you desire. But when you let go, when you trust, you step into a higher state of being. You align yourself with the rhythm of life, allowing things to come to you in their perfect time, in their perfect way. This is not to say you should do nothing or sit idly waiting for miracles to happen. Rather, it means acting from a place of inner certainty rather than outer force. It means knowing deep in your being that what is meant for you will find you, not because you chase it, but because it is already yours. Consider the way a magnet works. It does not run after metal objects, pleading for them to attach. It simply exists, and in its stillness, the right elements are drawn to it effortlessly. So too must you become a magnet for your desires. Not by running after them in fear of losing them, but by embodying the energy of already having them. If you desire love, do not chase it, become love. Love yourself so fully that love naturally flows to you. If you desire success, do not grasp at opportunities with desperation. Instead, embody the mindset of success, and the right opportunities will present themselves with ease. If you desire abundance, do not live in a state of lack, constantly worrying about money and scrambling to make ends meet. Instead, shift your inner world to one of abundance, knowing that what you seek is already within reach. There is a reason why some people seem to have everything fall into place for them while others struggle endlessly. It is not luck, nor is it sheer hard work. It is alignment. Those who move through life with ease understand that true power lies in trust, not in control. They do not grasp at life with fearful hands. They allow life to unfold with confidence, knowing that everything is working in their favor, even when they cannot yet see the full picture. The greatest paradox is this: when you stop trying so hard, when you release the struggle, life begins to work for you rather than against you. Think of a clenched fist, gripping tightly onto something out of fear. It cannot receive anything new. But the moment the hand opens, it becomes ready to receive. Your mind and heart work in the same way. When you hold on too tightly, whether to an idea or plan or a specific outcome, you block the flow of what is truly meant for you. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means surrendering the need to force things into place. It means trusting that what belongs to you will never miss you. It means moving through life with a sense of ease, a quiet confidence that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. The universe is always responding to your energy when you radiate trust, when you relax into the knowing that you are taken care of. You allow life to deliver blessings beyond what you could have imagined. But when you hold on too tightly, when you live in a state of fear and doubt, you create unnecessary resistance. Loosen your grip. Stop trying to micromanage every detail of your life. Stop believing that you must struggle, chase, and exhaust yourself to get what you want. Instead, step into the energy of already having it, feel it, embody it, and then release it. Know that it is done. Know that the path is unfolding before you, even if you cannot yet see it. Life was never meant to be a constant fight. It was meant to be a flow, a dance between your inner world and the external reality. When you truly understand this, when you finally let go of control, you will find that everything you have been searching for has been waiting for you all along. The world you see around you is not separate from you. It is not something happening to you. It is something happening through you. Every experience, every encounter, every circumstance is a reflection of the assumptions you hold within. You may believe that reality is something fixed, something independent of your thoughts, but this is the greatest illusion of all. Your imagination is the blueprint of your life, the invisible force shaping everything you experience. The moment you assume something to be true within, it begins to take shape in the outer world. This is not philosophy. This is law. Look around you. The conditions of your life are the direct result of what you have accepted as true in your mind. Your relationships, your finances, your health, your opportunities, these are all manifestations of the dominant beliefs you carry. They are not accidents, nor are they the result of mere external forces beyond your control. They are the product of your consciousness, the direct outpicturing of what you have imagined, either consciously or unconsciously. When you understand this, you realize that there is nothing to fight, nothing to struggle against. The only thing you must change is your inner world. You do not need to manipulate people, force situations, or exhaust yourself trying to alter circumstances. Instead, you must go within and assume the state of being you wish to experience. The moment you accept something as true in imagination, reality begins to shift. It may not happen in an instant, but the process has begun. Doubt is the only thing that stands in your way. The mind is conditioned to look for evidence before believing. But this is the wrong order of creation. You must first believe, and then the evidence will follow. When you plant a seed in the ground, you do not dig it up every few hours to check if it is growing. You trust that it will sprout in its due time. In the same way, when you assume something to be true in imagination, you must rest in that assumption without needing immediate proof. The outer world is simply the delayed reflection of your inner state. Think of the moments in your life when things seem to fall into place effortlessly. Perhaps you desired something, thought about it frequently, imagined yourself having it, and then, seemingly by chance, it appeared. That was not coincidence. That was the power of your imagination shaping reality. Now think of the times when you desperately wanted something, but doubted whether it would come. You worried, you questioned, you looked for signs, but it never materialized. That too was the power of your imagination, except in this case it was working against you. You imagined uncertainty, and so uncertainty became your experience. You must stop waiting for the world to change before you change your mind. You must stop looking to external circumstances as the cause of your state of being. The truth is, your state of being is the cause, and the world is merely the effect. If you desire wealth, you must assume the feeling of already being wealthy. If you seek love, you must embody the feeling of already being loved. If you wish for success, you must walk through life as though success is already yours. This is not pretending. This is not make-believe. This is the fundamental law of creation. The world will reflect whatever you persistently hold in your imagination. The only reason this seems difficult is because you have spent years believing the opposite, that reality controls you rather than you controlling reality. But once you break free from this illusion, once you truly grasp the power within you, everything changes. You are never stuck. There is no situation too far gone, no condition too permanent. At any moment you can shift your inner world, and in doing so you set in motion a new chain of events that will reshape your life. But you must persist. A single thought will not create a lasting change, just as a single drop of water does not carve a canyon. It is the sustained assumption, the repeated dwelling in a new state of being, that brings about transformation. Many people fail not because they lack the ability, but because they do not persist long enough. They assume something new for a day, a week, perhaps even a month, but then they fall back into old patterns of doubt and disbelief. They look at the world for reassurance instead of trusting in the unseen. They become impatient, and in doing so, they undo the very. But those who persist, those who remain faithful to their inner vision despite all appearances, inevitably see their desires take form. There is nothing you cannot create. There is no limitation except the one you accept in your mind. The moment you assume something to be true within, the world rearranges itself to reflect that truth. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for proof. Decide now. Choose the reality you wish to experience and hold to it with unwavering conviction. Let the world catch up to your new assumption, for it must. This is the way creation works. It has always worked this way, and it always will. The very act of holding on too tightly to your desires can prevent them from coming into being. When you grasp, when you obsess, when you constantly look for signs of movement, you are unknowingly affirming lack. You are sending a signal to the universe that what you desire is not yet yours, and so it remains just out of reach. Detachment is the key to manifestation, for it is only when you release your grip that what you desire is free to flow into your reality. The secret is to trust that it is done and to live in the end result. Many misunderstand detachment. They believe it means giving up, not caring, or abandoning their desires altogether. But this is not detachment, it is resignation. True detachment is not the absence of desire. It is the absence of need. It is the calm assurance that what you have asked for is already yours, that the moment you have imagined it, it has been created. It is the deep inner knowing that there is nothing left to do but enjoy life, confident that your desire will materialize in its perfect time and way. When you hold on too tightly, you operate from a place of fear. You fear that if you do not constantly think about your desire, if you do not analyze and question every detail, it might not happen. But this fear itself is the very thing keeping it at bay. Imagine planting a seed in the ground and then digging it up every hour to check if it is growing. The seed cannot take root under such conditions. You do not yearn like him, you yearn to let go. With the limited amount of components, the experience contains everything. It needs to be left alone, to be trusted, to be given space to flourish. Your desires function the same way. They need your belief, not your worry. They need your confidence, not your desperation. You must learn to live in the end result. This means embodying the feeling of already having what you seek. If you desire love, walk through life as if you are already deeply loved. If you desire abundance, move with the ease and certainty of someone who knows their wealth is inevitable. If you desire success, carry yourself with the quiet confidence of one who has already achieved all they set out to do. Do not wait for external confirmation. The moment you assume your desire is fulfilled, the universe begins to rearrange itself to match your new state of being. Many people make the mistake of watching the world for signs, constantly searching for proof that their manifestation is on its way. But this is not true faith. This is not trust. When you have truly detached, you do not need to check. You do not need to wonder. You simply know. Just as you know the sun will rise in the morning, just as you know a planted seed will grow in its due season, you know that what you have imagined is already making its way to you. Detachment does not mean inaction. It does not mean you stop living or stop making choices. It means you act from a place of certainty rather than lack. You move through life in alignment with your fulfilled desire, but you do not obsess over when or how it will arrive. You do not demand that it happen on your schedule. You do not attempt to control the process. Instead, you allow it to unfold naturally, trusting that it will come in the most perfect way. Consider the things that have effortlessly fallen into place in your life. Often they came when you least expected them, when you were not trying so hard, when you had released your attachment and allowed things to happen as they would. This is the power of detachment. It creates space for what you want to come to you with ease. It removes resistance. It allows the energy of your desire to flow freely, unblocked by worry, impatience, or doubt. You must train yourself to rest in the knowing that all is well. You must let go of the idea that struggle is necessary, that effort is required to force your desires into being. Struggle is only needed when you believe that what you want is separate from you. But nothing is separate. Your desires are not outside of you, they are within, waiting for you to align with them. And alignment comes through ease, through trust, through letting go. When you no longer chase, what you seek finds you. When you no longer beg, what you desire is freely given. When you no longer question, the answer appears effortlessly. This is the paradox of manifestation. The moment you stop grasping, the moment you release your desperate hold, is the moment everything begins to fall into place. Do not make the mistake of believing that letting go means losing what you want. Letting go is not about giving up. It is about stepping into the state of already having. It is about shifting from wanting to knowing. And in that knowing there is peace. There is no more restlessness, no more need to search, no more fear of lack. There is only the quiet confidence of one who understands the power of their own mind. Trust in the unseen. Trust that what you have imagined is already forming in the invisible. Trust that it is done and it must be revealed. Stop looking, stop waiting, stop forcing. Simply live as though it is already yours, because it is. There is an unseen force at work in your life. guiding you, shaping events, and aligning circumstances in ways that you may not yet comprehend. What you call delays, setbacks, or even rejections are not obstacles meant to defeat you, but rather redirections towards something greater. The universe is always working in your favor, even when your limited perception tells you otherwise. You must come to understand that nothing in your life is truly working against you. Every experience, every closed door, every unexpected turn is part of a larger design leading you to exactly where you need to be. The problem arises when you resist this process, when you judge things as good or bad based on immediate appearances. You see only a fraction of the whole picture, and because of this, you often mistake divine timing for delay and divine protection for rejection. Imagine a traveler on a journey who finds their path suddenly blocked by a fallen tree. Frustrated, they believe they have been delayed, not realizing that just beyond that path was a danger they were unknowingly spared from. Forced to take a different route, they later arrive at a place even more magnificent than where they originally intended to go. This is how the universe operates. What you see as a barrier is often a safeguard. What you perceive as loss is sometimes an act of grace. It is easy to trust when everything appears to be going your way. But the real test of faith is in the moments when things do not unfold as expected. When your plans unravel, when doors close, when the timing does not match your desires. Do you resist in despair? Or do you surrender and trust that something greater is taking place? Those who learn to trust the unseen forces working in their favor do not panic in the face of obstacles. I must go back a few little points, and then they do not wallow in self-pity when things seem to be moving in the wrong direction. Instead, they smile, knowing that the universe is orchestrating events for their highest good. To truly embody this trust, you must detach from the need for immediate results. Many people give up too soon, believing that because their desires have not yet materialized, they never will. But just because you cannot see the movement does not mean nothing is happening. The forces of creation do not always operate on your preferred timeline. Seeds do not sprout the moment they are planted. The night does not resist before yielding to dawn. Night, all things unfold in their appointed time, and your manifestations are no different. Patience is not passive, it is the highest form of trust. When you remain steadfast in your knowing, when you refuse to let temporary appearances shake your belief, you demonstrate that you understand the nature of reality. The unseen is just as real as the seen, and what you desire is already taking form beneath the surface. The more you trust, the more effortlessly things align. The less you resist, the more smoothly life unfolds. You have likely experienced moments in your life when things did not go according to plan, only to later realize that everything worked out even better than you could have imagined. What you once saw as a misfortune turned out to be a hidden blessing. The job you didn't get led you to a better opportunity. The relationship that ended freed you for something more fulfilling. The closed door redirected you to a path that held greater joy, greater abundance, greater peace. If you reflect deeply, you will see that life has always been working in your favor, even when you doubted it. This understanding should bring you great relief. It means that you do not have to struggle to control every detail of your life. You do not have to anxiously push, force, or manipulate circumstances to make things happen. The universe already knows what you desire, and it is already arranging the perfect sequence of events to bring it to you. Your only task is to remain in alignment, to trust, to act from a place of inner certainty, and to let go of the need to dictate how or when things must unfold. When you fully embrace this truth, fear dissolves. You stop seeing rejection as failure. You stop interpreting delays as punishment. You no longer waste your energy worrying or doubting. Instead, you walk with a quiet confidence, knowing that everything is always unfolding exactly as it should. And because you expect the best, you attract the best. because you trust that life is conspiring in your favor, it does. Your desires are not random. They are placed in your heart for a reason. And the very fact that you can imagine something means that it is possible for you. The universe does not tease you with visions of a life you cannot have, but it will sometimes take you on an unexpected journey to get there. The road may twist and turn, but every step is purposeful. Every delay has meaning. Every redirection serves you. So, release your attachment to how you think things should happen. Stop resisting when life takes an unexpected turn. Stop labeling experiences as good or bad based on your immediate perception. Instead, affirm that the universe is always working in your favor. Trust that what is meant for you cannot be lost. Believe that every experience, whether it makes sense now or not, is shaping you, preparing you, and guiding you towards something even greater than you envisioned. Now, I'm going to go from all these statements, and if you can, offer a little. You are not alone in this process. You are not being tested or punished. You are being led. And when you surrender to this guidance, when you stop fighting and start flowing, life becomes infinitely more beautiful. The universe knows the way. Your only job is to trust. There is a simple yet powerful truth about manifestation. What you desire is already yours the moment you fully accept it in your imagination. You do not need to struggle, force, or chase after it. The key is to feel it as real, then let it go. Once you have impressed your vision upon your inner world, you must release all worry and allow it to unfold naturally in your life. Holding on too tightly only creates resistance. True creation happens in a state of ease and trust. Shepherd, resistance, my dear partner. Many people misunderstand the process of manifestation. They believe they must constantly think about their desire, constantly reaffirm it, and constantly question when or how it will appear. But this very act of clinging to the desire with anxiety signals to the universe that they do not truly believe it is theirs. The energy of neediness contradicts the energy of having. If you are constantly checking for results, constantly worrying about timing, you are not in a state of knowing, you are in a state of doubt. To manifest effortlessly, you must first feel your desire as already fulfilled, not as something distant, not as something uncertain, but as something already present within you. This feeling is the seed, and once the seed is planted, your role is to trust that it will grow. You do not need to stand over a planted seed and demand that it sprout before your eyes. You trust that the unseen forces of nature will do their work. In the same way, once you have assumed your desire to be real in your imagination, your only task is to let go and trust. Releasing does not mean forgetting. It does not mean abandoning your vision. It means releasing the tension around it, releasing the doubt, and allowing it to take its natural course. It is the difference between holding on to something with a tight grip and gently placing it into the hands of the universe. The moment you release the need to control, you make room for the unseen forces to work on your behalf. You must understand that reality is not something happening outside of you. It is something being shaped by you. The world simply mirrors back the assumptions you hold within. If you assume you must struggle to receive your desires, struggle is what you will encounter. If you assume your desire is already yours, it will unfold effortlessly. The delay is never in the universe. It is only in your belief. When you hold on to something with desperation, you push it further away. But when you relax into the knowing that it is already done, it flows toward you effortlessly. Think of it like holding water in your hands. If you try to clutch it too tightly, it slips through your fingers. But if you allow your hands to remain open, the water remains. Manifestation works the same way. When you obsess, when you stress, when you constantly check for signs, you are squeezing too tightly. But when you trust, when you let go, when you remain in a state of quiet confidence, everything unfolds with ease. Some may wonder, if I let go, won't my desire fade away? The truth is the opposite. Letting go does not mean losing it. It means allowing it to come to you in the most natural way possible. Imagine an archer pulling back the bowstring. They aim, they focus, they feel the target in their mind. But the arrow cannot reach its destination until they release it. The power is not in the pulling, it is in the release. In the same way, once you have aligned yourself with your desire, you must release it and allow it to move toward you. Releasing also means trusting the process, even when things do not seem to be moving. You may not see the forces at work, but they are always aligning circumstances in your favor. Just as a seed breaks through the soil at its appointed time, so too will your desires manifest when you are in alignment. If you continue to dig up the soil to check for progress, you disrupt the process. The same applies to your manifestations. Your job is not to force, but to trust. Doubt is the only thing that slows down the arrival of your desire. The moment you feel the need to control every step, you introduce resistance. But when you fully trust, when you move through life as if what you desire is already yours, reality must shift to reflect that. The external world has no choice but to match the state of your inner world. Once you have envisioned your desire, let go of the need to figure out how it will come. Let go of the need to see immediate evidence. Let go of the anxiety surrounding its arrival. Know that it is done. Feel the gratitude now, not later. Move as if it has already happened. When you do this, you send a powerful signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. And in perfect timing, in perfect alignment, it will arrive. You are not meant to chase, to struggle, to force. You are meant to align, to trust, to receive. So feel your desire deeply, embrace it as real, and then release it. The universe already knows the way. Your only task is to allow. Fear is the great illusion, the false shadow that convinces you that what you desire is out of reach. It whispers doubts, plants hesitation, and convinces you to stay where you are rather than step into the unknown. Yet, what is fear but a story you tell yourself, a projection of what might go wrong? Fear is not reality. It is merely an assumption, a belief in limitations rather than possibilities. And because your assumptions shape your world, the more you believe in fear, the more you see it reflected in your reality. But there is a way out, faith. Faith is the bridge that connects your inner vision to your external world. Faith is the force that dissolves the illusion of fear and replaces it with certainty. When you walk in faith, you are not moved by appearances. You are not shaken by delays or distractions. You do not question how or when your desire will manifest because you already know that it is done. Faith is the absolute confidence that what you seek is already yours, even before your eyes can confirm it. It is the knowing that the unseen forces are always working in your favor, rearranging reality to bring your vision to life. Many people allow fear to rule them. They hesitate, they doubt, they wait for outside confirmation before they dare to believe. But waiting for proof before having faith is not faith at all. It is merely reacting to the world as it is, rather than shaping it into what it could be. True faith does not require evidence. It does not wait for signs. It does not ask for permission. It simply knows. And because it knows, it commands reality to align. Fear keeps you stuck. It tells you that you are not ready, that things might go wrong, that you must prepare for failure. But failure is only a possibility if you accept it as one. The mind that is consumed by fear creates obstacles where none exist. It sees problems instead of solutions, delays instead of progress, struggle instead of ease. But this is only because fear distorts reality. It places you in a state where you expect the worst, and because you expect it, you invite it. The on the other hand, liberates. Faith places you in a state of expectation for the best. It removes hesitation and replaces it with certainty. It allows you to move boldly, to step forward with confidence, to act as if your success is already guaranteed. And the moment you move with this inner conviction, the outer world must follow. Reality cannot resist a mind that is firmly rooted in faith. The unseen forces begin to shift. Doors open, opportunities arise, and what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. There is nothing to fear. The obstacles you imagine are illusions. The limitations you perceive exist only because you acknowledge them. The moment you decide that fear no longer has power over you, it loses its grip. Fear is only strong when you feed it with belief. But the moment you replace belief in fear with belief in faith, the illusion collapses. You step into a world where nothing is withheld from you, where everything flows toward you with ease, where your desires take form effortlessly. Faith does not mean ignoring reality, it means shaping it. It means refusing to accept circumstances as fixed and choosing instead to see them as fluid, changeable, and subject to the power of your assumption. It means standing firm in the knowing that your vision is not a wish, it is a fact waiting to be realized. It means understanding that the universe is not against you, it is responding to you. And when you stand in faith, it must respond in kind. So ask yourself, are you moving in faith or are you moving in fear? Every thought, every decision, every action is either aligned with trust or with doubt. There is no in between. If you are hesitating, you are operating in fear. If you are second guessing, you are operating in fear. But when you walk boldly, when you assume your success, when you live as if your vision is already real, you are walking in faith. And when you do this consistently, fear has no choice but to disappear. Do not wait for things to feel safe before you believe. Do not wait for outside confirmation before you trust. Faith must come first. Faith is the foundation upon which all things are built. It is the force that calls the unseen into the seen, the invisible into the visible. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, every transformation begins with someone who dared to believe before they had proof. Be that person. Let go of fear. Let go of doubt. Let go of the need to control every detail. Walk with unwavering faith and reality will shape itself accordingly. Whatever you desire is already waiting for you, but it can only be yours when you claim it with confidence. Fear will try to keep you small, but faith will elevate you. Fear will whisper reasons to hesitate, but faith will call you forward. Listen to faith. Move in faith. Live in faith and watch as the world bends to your certainty. Everything you seek is already within your reach. The only thing standing between you and your desires is your own belief. When you let go of control, when you trust in the unseen, when you align your imagination with certainty and detach from fear, you step into the flow of the universe. You no longer chase, beg, or struggle. You simply receive. The universe is always working in your favor, always aligning circumstances to bring forth what you truly believe to be yours. The key is not in force, but in faith, not in doubt, but in knowing. Relax, breathe. Feel the reality of your desire as if it is already done and then release it. Live in the end, trust the process, and walk with unwavering confidence. Fear has no place where faith resides. The moment you stop seeking proof and start assuming the best, your world transforms. It has always been this simple. Thank you for listening. May you step forward with trust, knowing that everything you desire is already on its way.